Now, Tullus was a Roman king who came to power, and he was different from the previous king, Pompilius, Nemo Pompilius, who was very religious. Now, Tullus comes to power, he is not religious, almost at all. He wasn't religious. And in fact, Livy tells us that to him, a king wasn't supposed to involve himself with things, superstition. That's how he saw it. In fact, Livy writes that nothing less worthy of a king than to devote his mind to sacred rites. That's how Livy says it. So he had this negative view about religious practices. He didn't think much of, he didn't like them basically. So he came to power and he tried to ignore everything that Pompilius was doing. But things change. I welcome you to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I explore ancient texts, and ancient texts here, I mean texts that have been around for thousands of years. At the moment, I'm going through the book From the Founding of the City by Titus Livius or Livy. This is a collection of books, in fact. It's not a book, it's a collection of books that were written by Livy or Titus Livius about 2,000 years ago. So subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos that I upload. Plus, it will also help me reach a wider audience. I'll really appreciate. Now, Tullus is not religious when he comes to power, but that changes, and it changes because of things that happened to Rome and to himself as a person. And what happened is there was this plague that came, a disease that people started becoming sick, and initially he ignored it even though people were dying around. And in fact, he was saying he ignored it, and he wanted the young people to still be going to war because he was a very warlike king. He liked fighting the neighbors and things like that. So he ignores this plague even though it's killing people, and he still demanded that the young men of Rome have to come forward and go fight. So this went on, and until he himself became sick. And when he became sick, Livy says that the haughty spirit was so broken. That's how Livy says. And then because his health started to deteriorate, his thoughts of, or his thinking that religion was not necessary started to change because of he was facing death basically, and because of that fear of death, he changed and he started now to do all sorts of religious and spiritual things. Livy tells us that he became very superstitious, and he started doing all kind of religious rites. I think because now he was trying to find a solution to his own situation. And in fact, at some point, people were happy because he was basically becoming Numa Pompilius to some extent. He was doing things that Numa Pompilius used to do, and people missed Numa Pompilius because Numa Pompilius was a person who loved peace more than war. So at that point, even Tullus started going to pray for forgiveness from gods. But he started doing things. He discovered there were occult things that Numa Pompilius used to do, and he started doing them. But Livy tells us that unfortunately he started doing them in a way that was improper, like in the way that they were not supposed to be done. And most of these occult sacrifices, he calls them, were in honor of Jupiter Elysius, a god. And but unfortunately he was not doing them in the right way, and things did not go well for him, even though Livy doesn't tell us whether he did recover from this plague that was killing people around, because that's not what killed him. But he says things did not go well for him either because he was doing the occult practices the wrong way and he offended the gods, the way Livy describes it. One day he was struck by a thunderbolt and his house caught fire and he died. And Tullus died and left a legacy he left his reputation remained to be somebody who loved war, and he had been in power for 32 years by the time he was passing on. So that was how fear turned Tullus from someone who didn't really mind or think much about religion into a very religious person towards the end of his life.